Bombard.
Bombard.
I had been in action bombarding the Normandy coast.
The office was bombarded by telephone calls.
They bombarded him with questions. They bombarded him with questions.
Today we are bombarded with advice on what to eat and what to avoid.
Bombardier.
Bombardier.
Bombardment.
Bombardment.
The bombardment continued for a terrible 9 hours.
Bombastic.
Bombastic.
Is best known for 3 rather bombastic poems.
Bomb disposal.
Bomb disposal.
The device, which contained 400 pounds of explosive, was made safe by Army bomb disposal experts.
Bombed.
Bombed.
I feel like going out and getting completely bombed.
Bomber.
Bomber.
Bomber jacket.
Bomber jacket.
Bombing.
Bombing.
The southwest of the country suffered an intensive bombing campaign.
They were planning bombing raids in some of America's major cities. They were planning bombing raids in some of America's major cities.
A terrorist network responsible for a wave of bombings in Paris. The bombing of Hiroshima.
Bomb scare.
Bomb scare.
A bomb scare in central London.
Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Then came the bombshell. The factory was to close down.
Finally, she dropped the bombshell. She was pregnant, she said.
Bomb shelter.
Bomb shelter.
Bomb site.
Bomb site.
They've pulled down so many buildings around here it looks like a bomb site.
Bona fide.
Bona fide.
Only bona fide members are allowed to use the club pool.
Bona fides.
Bona fides. Bonanza.
Bonanza.
2008 was a bonanza year for the oil industry.
An amazing cash bonanza.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Bonds.
Bonds.
Bond. Bond.
My father put all his money into stock market bonds.
Furious trading on the bond market.
The emotional bond between mother and child.
The United States' special bond with Britain.
Lifelong bonds of friendship.
The bonds of fear and guilt.
Use a glue gun to form a strong bond on wood or china.
In each methane molecule, there are 4 CH bonds.
It takes less than 10 minutes for the 2 surfaces to bond. It takes less than 10 minutes for the 2 surfaces to bond.
Time must be given for the mother to bond with her baby.
Bondage.
Bondage.
The bondage of early motherhood.
Since the age of 13, he had been in bondage.
Bonded warehouse.
Bonded warehouse.
Bondholder.
Bondholder.
Bonding.
Bonding.
The bonding between mare and foal.
They're in the bar again doing some male bonding.
Chemical bonding.
Bone.
Bone.
The X-ray showed that the bone was broken in 2 places.
He broke his collarbone.
She was tall and big-boned. Amelia had inherited her mother's good bone structure.
The bone handle of his dagger.
I can't tell you more than the bare bones of what happened.
Mary made no bones about enjoying a drink.
The examination system has long been a serious bone of contention in this country.
She was all skin and bone.
She knew that something good was sure to happen. She could feel it in her bones. His jokes were a bit close to the bone.
Shops cut prices to the bone in the January sales.
A boiled ham on the bone.
Roasted duck off the bone.
Boned breast and thigh meat.
I have to bone up on criminal law for a test next week.
Bone china.
Bone china.
Bone dry.
Bone dry.
There had been no rain for months and the land was bone dry.
Bonehead.
Bonehead.
Bone idle.
Bone idle.
He's just bone idle.
Boneless.
Boneless.
Bone marrow.
Bone marrow.
A bone marrow transplant.
Bone meal.
Bone meal.
Boner.
Boner.
Bonfire.
Bonfire.
Bonfire night.
Bonfire night.
Bong.
Bong.
Bongos.
Bongos.
Bonhomie.
Bonhomie.
They were relaxed and full of bonhomie.
Bonk.
Bonk.
He fell, bonking his head against a tree.
A quick bonk.
Bonkers.
Bonkers.
Thinking about the whole problem has driven me nearly bonkers.
Bon mot.
Bon mot.
Bonnet.
Bonnet.
I'll need to check under the bonnet.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
A bonny baby.
Bonsai.
Bonsai.
Bonus.
Bonus.
Long-term savers qualify for a cash bonus.
Further additions to your pay may take the form of bonus payments.
A Christmas bonus.
Each worker receives an annual bonus. A £20,000 bonus.
Britain's possession of North Sea oil has proved a bonus for British technology.
He promised to take me to the match with the added bonus of an afternoon off school.
Bon vivant.
Bon vivant.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage.
Bony.
Bony.
She had a bony, intelligent face. He was tall and bony.
Boo. Boo.
Some of the audience started booing.
She was booed off stage.
Boob. Boob.
I think Jean's boobed again.
Boo-boo.
Boo-boo.
I made a bit of a boo-boo asking her about David.
Boob tube.
Boob tube.
Booby.
Booby.
Booby hatch.
Booby hatch.
Booby prize.
Booby prize.
Booby trap.
Booby trap.
He lost both legs in a booby trap bomb blast.
Boogaloo. Boogaloo.
Booger. Booger.
Boogeyman.
Boogeyman.
Boogie.
Boogie.
Boogie rock at its finest.
Boogie board.
Boogie board.
Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo.
Book.
Book.
I've just started reading a book by Graham Greene.
A cookery book.
A book about cats.
A black address book.
A notebook. A notebook.
A checkbook.
An accountant will examine the company's books.
A small firm that is having problems balancing the books.
They have £50 billion worth of orders on the books.
An agent with a lot of popular actors on his books. She feels she has to go by the book and can't use her creativity. The police were careful to do everything by the book.
Chemistry is a closed book to me.
The Book of Isaiah.
In my book, nothing is more important than football.
War criminals must be brought to book. Have you booked a holiday this year?
The flight was already fully booked.
To get tickets, you have to book in advance.
The show's booked solid until February.
The band was booked for a benefit show in Los Angeles.
The courses quickly get booked up. I'm all booked up this week. Can we get together next Friday?
I booked you a flight on Saturday. I'll book you in at the Hilton.
Smith was booked on suspicion of attempted murder.
Several tourists were booking in.
Bookable.
Bookable.
Bookbinding.
Bookbinding.
Bookcase.
Bookcase.
Book club.
Book club.
Book crossing. Book crossing.
Bookend.
Bookend.
The Booker Prize.
Booker prize.
Book group.
Book group.
Bookie.
Bookie.
Booking.
Booking.
Bookings on cruise ships.
I made a booking for 2 double rooms.
I'm calling to confirm my booking.
If you cancel your booking, there will be a small charge.
Places on the course are limited and advance booking is essential.
Booking office.
Booking office.
Bookish.
Bookish.
A shy, bookish man.
Bookkeeping.
Bookkeeping.
Booklet.
Booklet.
A free booklet on drug abuse. Bookmaker.
Bookmaker.
Bookmark.
Bookmark.
Bookmobile.
Bookmobile.
Bookplate.
Bookplate.
Bookrest.
Bookrest.
Bookseller.
Bookseller.
Bookshelf.
Bookshelf.
Bookshop.
Bookshop.
Bookstall.
Bookstall.
Bookstore.
Bookstore.
Book token.
Book token.
She gave me a book token for Christmas.
Book value.
Book value.
Bookworm.
Bookworm.
Boolean.
Boolean. The program searches for information using Boolean logic.
Boom.
Boom.
The boom has created job opportunities.
A sudden boom in the housing market.
The post-war property boom.
In boom times, airlines do well.
The economic boom of the 1950s.
The economy went from boom to bust very quickly.
The disco boom of the 1970s.
The boom in youth soccer in the U.S.
Business was booming, and money wasn't a problem.
Tourism on the island has boomed.
Ladies and gentlemen, his voice boomed out.
Guns boomed in the distance.
A booming economy.
Boombox.
Boombox.
Boomerang.
Boomerang.
Boomerang child.
Boomerang child.
Boomerang generation.
Boomerang generation. The boomerang generation are saving thousands in rent by living at home.
Boomtown.
Boomtown.
Boon.
Boon.
The bus service is a real boon to people in the village.
Boon companion.
Boon companion.
Boondocks.
Boondocks.
Boondoggle.
Boondoggle.
A bureaucratic boondoggle.
Boonies.
Boonies.
Boor.
Boor.
Boost.
Boost.
The new resort area has boosted tourism.
The win boosted the team's confidence. He boosted her up.
A major boost to the economy. A multi-million-pound boost for the British film industry.
Add a little more vanilla to give the flavour a boost.
The community will get a boost from a new library and recreation centre.
The poll provided a morale boost for the Conservatives.
If I give you a boost, could you reach the window?
Booster.
Booster.
A booster shot. A booster pump.
A profit booster for the company.
Mail from home is a big morale booster for faraway troops.
A giant booster rocket.
A dance organized by the school's booster club.
Booster seat.
Booster seat.
Boot. Boot.
Hiking boots.
A pair of boots.
The new model has a bigger boot.
The chairman denied that he had been given the boot.
He should have got the boot years ago.
She was a great sportswoman and beautiful to boot.
The goalkeeper booted the ball upfield.
His fellow students booted him out of the class.
Boot camp.
Boot camp.
Boot cut. Boot cut.
Booty.
Booty.
Booth.
Booth.
A voting booth.
A crafts booth.
Booth bunny. Booth bunny.
Bootlace.
Bootlace.
Bootleg.
Bootleg.
Bootleg tapes. Boot sale.
Boot sale.
Bootstraps.
Bootstraps.
Booty.
Booty.
Bootylicious.
Bootylicious.
Bootylicious babes.
Boozing.
Boozing.
You've been out boozing, haven't you?
A bottle of booze.
He's been on the booze for 5 days. My husband is now off the booze and he is a different person.
Booze cruise. Booze cruise.
Boozer.
Boozer.
Booze up.
Booze up.
Boozy.
Boozy.
Boozy laughter.
Bop.
Bop.
Tom bopped him on the nose. Kids happily bopping on the dance floor. We spent the afternoon just bopping around town.
A bop on the head.
Bopper.
Bopper.
Borax.
Borax.
Bordello.
Bordello.
Border.
Border.
To cross the border, you will need a valid passport.
The border between the U.S. and Mexico. Regular patrols along the border with France.
A market town on the border of England and Wales.
He helped them to get across the border. The coach took us south of the border to Tijuana.
Writing paper with a black border.
The coach took us south of the border to Tijuana.
Writing paper with a black border.
A flower and shrub border.
New scientific discoveries that are stretching the borders of knowledge. Countries that border the Mediterranean.
The area borders on the Yorkshire Dales.
A path bordered by a high brick wall. His confidence bordered on arrogance.
Borderland.
Borderland.
Borderline.
Borderline.
In borderline cases, the student's coursework is considered as well as exam grades.
The referee's decision was borderline. A borderline schizophrenic.
She slipped over the borderline into sleep.
I was on the borderline between a first and a second-class degree.
Bore.
Bore.
He's the sort of person who bores you at parties.
A film that will bore its young audience.
I won't bore you with all the technical details. The machine bores a hole through the cards. To build the tunnel, they had to bore through solid rock.
Waiting is a bore.
You'll find it's a terrible bore. He turned out to be a crashing bore.
Take a length of piping with a bore of about 15 millimeters.
A 12-bore shotgun.
A fine bore tube.
The Severn bore.
Bored.
Bored.
He was easily bored.
After a while I got bored and left.
Are you bored with your present job?
Boredom.
Boredom.
A game to relieve the boredom of a long journey. The sheer boredom of being in jail.
His boredom with life in a small town.
Borefest.
Borefest. The game was turning out to be a borefest. Borehole.
Borehole.
Boring.
Boring.
Her husband is about the most boring person I've ever met.
The job was dull and boring.
Born.
Born.
40 lambs were born this spring. Swift was born in 1667.
Then most babies were born at home.
I was born on December 15th, 1973.
1/3 of all children are born into single-parent families. Jenny was born with a small hole in her heart.
I was born and raised in Alabama.
A newly born baby. The Queen's firstborn son.
The alliance was born of necessity in 1941.
Bill spoke with a cynicism born of bitter experience.
I was born and bred in Liverpool.
He was born to be a politician.
The skill of a born actor.